Roger, you've written about Metaruptions. I would like to understand this concept.
It's my way of trying to be provocative on a theme which people are taking time to understand, but need further provocation and tools to manage it, which is to deal with the unpredictability. And I think it was in 1982, John Nesbitt wrote a very important work called Megatrends, and where he looked at what are the broad trends shaping the world. And when I looked at the things we're talking about and that we will write about and the frameworks to deal with that, I feel that trends is a little bit dangerous because trends to a degree rely on the past and it's a little bit of a rearview mirror. So as a provocation, I thought, you know what, if you take meta trends or disruptions, let's think about metaruptions, which are change as a constant. It's unknowable. It's systemic. You might not have the answers. You need to ask yourself certain questions. What if something happens? And so Metaruptions, it's a provocation to not rely so much on the rearview mirror. And this is what I started mentioning earlier, which is why megatrends or metatrends, which somehow has the assumption that things might continue, somehow puts things together. Maybe it's a bigger bundle of events, but somehow metatrends, you're assuming that things will continue. But guess what? Change is slow until it isn't. And the idea of metaruptions, which I coined to mean that it's meta, a certain level, but of changes. In other words, changes are constant. Not a problem if you have the right thinking around it. If you accept the multiplicity of possibilities and you don't rely on a specific outcome that you use for predictive, then basically that's okay. But you just need to understand that in that case, you have many unknowns, so it's not necessarily fully understandable. You have many future possibilities, it's discontinuous, it might be counterintuitive, and it might roll and cascade into something further.
I wanted to paint something contemporary, something modern, something that represented what's going on in the world, and your word just worked perfectly for this painting. Assumptions, the wrong assumptions, basically, with time and in unexpected, unpredictable, nonlinear environments. Yeah. Over time, assumptions, they no longer lose relevancy, but they explode. You know, if you're relying on assumption to everything else. And so the beauty with imagination is that you're hopefully exercising this, Zen Buddhism, Eastern philosophy idea of Shoshin, beginner's mind. And you might be connecting things that are maybe not intuitive or relying less on habit, prediction, etc. So that for me is a very significant purpose of art, of imagination, which does not come from trend reports or data analysis or what have you. It's more of a human approach.
So it's not like some sort of paradigm shift. So something's shifted, and now we understand the new rules of the game. So now we just have to adapt to that. That's no longer, that doesn't work anymore because the rules are constantly shifting.
So the term I coined, really the word doesn't matter. It's more to kind of contrast it, is metaruptions. In other words, disruptions and meta as a portmanteau word to illustrate that there's not enough of a paradigm shift that you can just then rely on the shift. And for the anecdote, some of the metaruptions we talk about is systemic paradigm shifts. So we add the word systemic, and in it, one of them we consider to be information, complexity, and society. It's kind of like, yes, it's a paradigm shift, but maybe it's a systemic paradigm shift. It's not that X has happened, we now have Y, and Y is stabilized.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's a great way of describing that.
The big misconception with trends or meta-trends or mega-trends, call them what you want, is a number of limitations. First of all, they assume that the world is linear and predictable. So you're using the past, it's a rearview mirror, basically. The second thing is that you're assuming that these separate trends, even if you group them, interact predictably with one another. And third, which is very important, they ignore second and next order implications, which cascade into different things. So Metaruptions forces you to really appreciate with humility what you know, what you don't know, and the unpredictability of the world.